Yacht A, Arnold School. This is Reverend Leon Sampson. Um, I'm located here at Good Shepherd Mission in Arizona, which is one regions out of the 3 states. I'll also have a region and series of churches in Utah, Mexico, and so I just wanted to give you guys a little update on some of the things that were happening here in Navajoland and some of the efforts were taking place around the effects of the coronavirus. I know some of you have been donating monetary and supplies to Navajoland Mission Episcopal. I just wanted to give a little update to some of the things that were happening. As of today, April 18th, we here in Navajoland, Navajo Nation, have been on curfew from our presiding bishop, or our bishop from Navajo. He's asked us to stay sheltered, out of public gatherings, out of the road travels, from Friday evening from 8 p.m. to Monday morning 5 p.m. a.m. So that's where we are now sheltered at home. As of April 17th, yesterday, Friday, numbers of cases are up to 1,127 cases out there, and about reported 45 deaths among the Navajo Nation. Some of the things that we've been trying to get going, responding to, first of all, keeping track of our parishioners, being able to facilitate worship experiences within our parishioners and our congregation in each area. Some of the things we've been doing overall collectively with the 3 region is we've been working on some virtual church services, whether they're pre-recorded and we send them to our communication director and GJ goes and she edits them and puts them online, so you can see those either on our Episcopal Church in Navajoland, receive all the video feeds. Also a link to Episcopal Church in Navajoland, or of Navajoland.org, where you can receive prayer, receive the feed, and put your name on a list of text messages for daily prayers and worship reflection. Some of those resources are available not only just for our congregation, but also for those of you that are following us. Many of you have been responsive to helping us out, being able to equip us with the tools we need for responding pastorally, but also for our congregation. Through those funds, we're able to put together worship packets, and some of those worship packets consist of a cloth, so families can take home these worship packets, set up in a sacred place for an altar to be made, but also a candle they can light, and they can receive, light the Holy Spirit, invite Christ into their house, not just in church. Other things we put in these worship packets are the lectionaries for 2 to 3 weeks, so that they can follow along on a Sunday. And so when we go live or we do recordings, then they can follow along with the prayers, the service itself with the lectionary readings. Some other things we put in there are, of course, our Shema soap that we feel is an important piece of hygiene and keeping hands washed. In some of those packets, we have put in some hand washing prayers, and some of these hand washing prayers are 20 seconds or longer. So when you wash your hands, you put this up on your wall and you can wash soap, and we feel it has the right ingredients to keep the germs off of your hands, and so we we've been doing that for our parishioners. Of course, we put in some coloring books for the seasons. We had put in coloring books and crayons for our children in a household. So do some color crayons and doing some interaction with the family. The women here, Good Shepherd in Farmington, have been putting with limited supplies of some of the material that we have here. Some have been very innovative with making masks without the bands or without sewing machines, and so those have gone out to our parishioners, and we're getting a lot more, which is our women's sewing groups that are really, and thank you to them for making these happen. It's a ministry that our congregations can engage in and be able to give back in certain ways, so it's a big thing for us. Some of the other things on a bigger scale that I've started to have to take notice is we have some of the wider churches around the Episcopal denomination and other denominations that are wanting to donate to Navajo Nation, and so do some research and find out which organizations have had the capacity and the logistics together so that they can do the distribution. And Navajo Nation here has several command centers and several regions that are distributing water, medical supplies, food to a variety of different communities directly affected by the coronavirus. And so these communities have been shut down, have been completely isolated so they can combat the spread of the virus. And so families find themselves isolated at home. They cannot leave their home. They cannot leave in the community. And so efforts through Navajo Nation are taking care of them and responding to them. And we're kind of guiding these from the wider church that way. On a smaller scale for us as clergy in Navajoland, we have an obligation, and we really have some concerns about some of our parishioners that are sitting in isolated areas, are not able to get out, that really have to travel 2 hours or 3 hours to get to a grocery store, and find out they couldn't cross borders, or find out that the grocery stores don't have what they need, and so it's been a burden for them not being able to get out into these areas. So trying to respond in ways that really help give us the opportunity to respond and put together little food packets, and even simple things like passing out tissue and things like that. So and we're really going to see more of this happening on a larger scale, because I feel like we haven't seen the peak of this virus yet. And so that's where a lot of your donations and your help that you've been giving and are going to be needed, and going to be really taken, going to be part of what we need to have to offer for. Been making some ties with fresh fruit product that might be coming this way, and having infrastructure for us to get U-Haul trucks to go out and deliver these. So being able to have that capacity is very important, and some of the things that we need to do to keep our people safe, keep them involved in the worship space, but also to be able to feel safe that they're home and not want to travel out there. Like I said, we are here quarantined, and we're sitting in curfew. A lot of families, elementary school, high school, have been ordered to stay home and do some homeschooling. Students are not going to be able to go to school for the rest of the season, the rest of the year, and that really hinders on the education of our kids. And the beautiful thing about that, families are able to be together more intimately in the household. And that's why we create these worship packets, so that families can practice how to pray together, how to follow when they're in their times of frustration, vulnerability, and worries, that they can rely on each other, and we're going to get through this, and to be on their side, and to know that they're going to be, we're going to make this through this, as if they can just stay home, social different distancing, and wear masks now, so some of the things we've done for family growth is around preparing our families, equipping them with tools on how to be family. We've had a series of drive-through pickups at our churches here at Good Shepherd, where we would distribute out a series of books to the families, and a series of books from kindergarten all the way up to high school, even curriculum that families could use for schoolwork, strengthening the families. We had high school students that come through and request geography books, things like that, and so we were able to give those out, and even making planter boxes for our families that have kids, so that they can have activities back in their house and they can do things. We have my girls that are two girls, one in college and one in high school, and they have to do homeschool. So I guess it's kind of to keep us busy, or without going crazy and picking on each other. We have certain days where we do home economics, and we'll do baked bread or cookies, and then we'll do like carpenter night, where we'll make the boxes and we'll get them set up and ready for distribution. So my girls and I have actually had a hand in making those boxes, and we'll make a series of them again here pretty soon, once we get more of our volunteers, our staff, to help us make quite a few of them. And then we get out and we prepare our garden, as well as preparing plots here for Good Shepherd, so that we might be able to put together some type of produce, fresh food lines, so we can donate that out to the community, and they would have some sort of opportunity to have fresh produce here from. And that's basically just getting people to engage and help out with their own family. They say Navajo nations do things in self-determination and do things for yourself, and so encouraging families to practice, teach your kids about how to speak your language, learn the culture and songs, how to worship and pray, how to garden your own box outside and make a plot, how to work under, on your household, things like that, so that strengthen your family and ethically in how you could come together. So some of the things, those are just some of the things that we've been doing, trying to respond to in each region. And each region is different. Some are going out in their own out of their own pockets and buying food, and putting together a little 1 pound ground beef and sending them out to the elders. So and so this discretionary that we're getting, that we're asking for donations for, really helps out in making a lot of those efforts go a long way. So on a personal scale, for myself, you can see my hair's growing wide, and I had a pretty scuddy face, but I had to shave it for this one. But prayer practice for our clergy is very important. We have a lot on our plate now. We've pay cuts, and we've done a lot of things to keep a lot of our staff on. So we put families out that have families on our payroll. So those are the cuts that we're willing to be part of, that we can keep everybody in line and safe through this time. Me myself, gardening is a big thing for me. So I've started a garden here at my house. I've started bookcase gardenings for herbs. Together a garden plot down in our greenhouse, which is to to kind of help a lot of what's been happening. We could respond in a later date when we have produce and we can help families distribute those out. So just keeping all that on a larger scale. So once again, like I said, if you go to Episcopal Church of Navajoland.org, you can find a site. You can give your, if you have concerns and prayer requests, you can offer those online, and we can add that in with morning prayer when we do our prayer service. Tomorrow we'll have a live Zoom prayer feed, so if you go to that or you go to the Facebook Episcopal Church of Navajoland and like us, and you will receive, and you can look at all the other services that are as well. So those are some of the resources that you can come to find and be inclusive with the service that we have, but also how to interact and respond to some of the efforts that we're working on. So I just wanted to give a little update and just say to say in a very big way, thank you. Okay, so be safe out there, please. Practice safe distancing, wear your masks when you're in public, and pray for us. Pray for our clergy, pray for our people, pray for our bishop. A big job, and he has a lot going on his plate now, so pray for him and Anne and their well-being. And I just want to say and may the peace of God always be with you. Amen.